Hey Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, the crew of the Honor purged the evil from the chaotic armory. However, while investigating, Vaika was sucked into a room full of living dead Imposition soldiers and a massive heart pulsing corruption throughout the Black Dreadnought. With the help of Sully's powers, the rest of the crew tracked her to a closed room. While investigating, Jila got separated, then pulled into the same chamber as Vaika. But we have yet to find out what condition her crewmate is in. We are going to start with Vaika. You guys had a kind of long trip getting to this room with the heart in it that now Jila has also been pulled into. And so over that time, Vaika was there alone. So she had just gotten pulled through. She investigated a little bit, found out it was a closed room that seemed to have been overgrown by chaos. And as she came back, the empty shells of Imposition soldiers began to fill in with bones and meat and begin to assemble themselves. That's where we're picking up.
And all of this is happening while the rest of us are traveling to try to find her.
Yeah, all of this is happening while the rest of you are in transit. So Vaika, there are some Imposition soldiers beginning to put themselves back together. What do you do?
I think Vaika takes a shot at one of them.
You just start shooting?
Yeah.
All right, roll some blasts, some baddies.
Sorry, that's an 8.
Okay, cool. So with an 8, one of the Imposition soldiers doesn't manage to get themselves put back together. So they, arms are kind of attaching the rest of bodies together. You know, you can see, disembodied bits kind of dragging themselves towards the, hole that is beginning to form. And you focus fire on one of those and blast it apart before it's able to totally assemble itself. However, 9 more stand up and begin marching slowly towards you.
I think unless they start talking, and even then, probably not going to stop, she just keeps shooting.
All right, roll again.
All right, and I just want to say, too, that I think last time we said that she does have her shield, so she has that rolled out in front of her.
Yep.
11.
Okay, so as the ranks advance, you're being smart about it because you have this shield. So you kind of retreat to the back and are just focusing fire on one at a time, trying to remain calm as you're hoping that you're going to be able to make it out of this alive. 2 more of them fall before they even reach the edge of the shield.
So there's still 7. Okay. Yeah. Just continuing to fire. 13.
Wow.
She might actually get out of this alive.
We'll see.
In unison, reach the shield and start pounding their fists on it. You notice at this point that they're decidedly not using any weapons. They aren't firing bolts at you. They aren't using chainsaw swords or even anything chaos tainted like you found in the armory. They're just simply using their hands and pounding on the shield. You can see the shield starting to waver in front of you, but it holds strong as you kill 2 more.
Okay, and then just to make sure you're aware, my shield's 1 person wide. So this isn't a big bubble or anything like that.
Oh, I thought it was like a bubble.
No. It's like a light up shield that's
like in Wakanda.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Wakanda, just long enough.
I know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay, so then they break around it, but more of them than should be are hung up on it because they're kind of marching in a straight line. You know what I mean? And if anything gets in their way, they just smash it down.
Okay.
So as they're breaking around the shield, you're just picking them off the sides.
Yeah, she's still firing. 11.
Okay, so the shield flickers and goes out as the entire line is still marching towards you. You're still managing to keep calm and kind of pedal yourself backwards as you continue firing, and 2 more fall.
How many did she kill, though?
So how many are left?
There are 3 left.
Okay, shooting again. 14.
Good lord!
Dang.
Wait, hang on.
Okay, I have...
Vaika single-handedly kills chaos. The universe has been trying to do this for years now.
I'm glad this is happening, and this is the point of dice rolls, right? But you guys gotta understand, when I picked 10, I was 99% chance Vaika's not making it out of this unscathed. And then she's just 12, 13, 13, 14, 12. You're not that good at shooting!
Well, so my weapon is tough +1, so that's a +3 on all my rolls.
Well, you're pretty good at shooting then, actually.
I'm really good at shooting.
All right, so 2 more of them fall. 1 more is still marching towards you, totally stationary as if nothing, or totally statically as if nothing had happened.
Okay, I'm gonna take him down.
Maybe, or maybe you'll roll snake eyes.
Cody, it's a 13.
That means you still rolled a 10.
Fives.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is the fun of these games, right? Like, I can plan as much as I want for you to fail, but if you don't fail, you don't fail. So, Vaika, you see the smoking corpses of these chaos corrupted Imposition soldiers all falling to the ground in a row in front of you. As they all fall, you can see the furthest back ones that you shot first kind of starting to melt back into the floor. As they do, their armor just kind of again goes slack and limp, and then slowly starts getting reabsorbed by the floor as well, and you're left alone in a room with a pulsating heart. Anything you want to do in particular? Or do you just want to roll to win the entire game while you're on this hot streak?
I guess I was originally gonna go check out the heart before.
I mean, you can roll some investigation on it right now if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Sorry, I'm breaking your game.
It's okay. No, it's not breaking it. It's just funny.
That's an 8.
Okay, what do you want to learn about it? Any questions you have for me?
I don't have anything specific. All I can think of is getting closer and I guess figure out why there are. I don't know. I guess I figured out that the armor is from the Imposition soldiers that have been taken. Like, that makes sense to me. But I guess why is all of this just hanging around other than something for us to fight?
Oh, okay. That's actually a valuable question to ask. You have seen chaos influencing mechanical things, and I mean you've seen chaos-powered devices before.
Mm-hmm.
That power has to come from somewhere, and it might not follow any, like, static rules of physics that you know of yourself. But that being said, it has to follow some rules and gain its power from somewhere. So looking at this seems like I don't want to say nervous center because that's wrong. It is literally the heart of the Black Dreadnought. This is the thing maintaining any amount of chaotic technology on the ship. It's basically the engine of chaos on the ship. That would be the right way to put it.
How bad is it going to be if I shoot this thing?
You can definitely shoot it.
I want to shoot it.
Go for it.
That's a 10.
Great. You shoot it really good. When you do, you can see, like, chunks of meat getting blown off of the thing. Basically, as fast as you can shoot it, you can see it regrowing itself.
Okay.
And I would say you can almost feel the floor kind of getting drug in towards it as you do that. Like it's pulling material from the floor or the walls around you to repair itself.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know what I don't think I can really. I guess in my mind, I don't think I can really do anything else right now.
You can look for an exit.
Yeah, other than just keep looking for a way to get out.
I mean, you've done that already, I guess, and
yeah.
To the extent that you found, like, mini just, like I said, smoothed over, this seems like a room. That's about all you can really tell.
Oh, okay. I do want to try one other thing.
Okay.
So, I kind of was able to find, like, roughly where a door would be, despite this, like, weird flooring, like, covering everything.
Okay.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm just curious what happens if I, take my gun to it and just try to, like, shoot the floor, basically.
The floor?
Yeah, just to see if, like, I can make a dent in this stuff at all.
I mean, you can make dents in it, but it definitely does seem like it's putting itself back together the more you try to. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, it regrows.
Yeah.
So you might be able to eventually, but it would take a long time.
Okay.
Anyways, while you're in the process of doing that and, like, just kind of pottering around this room, you see a new shape get kind of slurped out of the floor.
Is my shield completely broken?
What's the tags on your shield? The
Positive tag plus positive tag is -1 damage. It's a rolling shield that can return to her. Mm-hmm. Negative tag is not against melee.
Oh,
which I guess
no,
actually,
I don't think it's broken. I would have imagined the charge just wore out on it, or like it overheated. We can go with the Mass Effect thing where guns have infinite ammo, but you have to let them cool down.
That's fine, but if I like called it back to me and turned it on, it wouldn't like light up at all, would it?
I think it would by now. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like had time.
Okay. So she calls her shield back to her and lights it up, and she is pointing her gun at the new shape.
Great. You see Jila.
Space this slime. Vaika! Vaika! You're alive!
Jila, what, how did you get here? Don't tell me you touched the wall too.
Well, I was walking and it slurped me up, so sort of. But I'm so glad you're alive!
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I'm still alive, to be honest. And she's like looking over at the armor.
Yeah, what's all this around here?
Well, those were Chaos Imposition soldiers who tried to attack. Hopefully they won't do that again.
Wow, look at you go.
Guess we'll have to see if that happens again now that you're here.
Well, it looks like I should be standing behind you if that happens. But hopefully it won't. How do we, get out of here? What is that thing? She, like, points to the heart.
As far as I can tell, that's what's powering all of this chaos stuff here on the Dreadnought. So, not entirely sure what we're supposed to do to get rid of that. I took a couple shots at it, and that did nothing. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy you're here, because maybe you will have a better perspective on this than I do. I cannot figure out how to get out of here.
Yeah, we'll see. Put our heads together. Can I do an investigate check? Is it worth it?
You can,
Okay.
but have a specific thing you're investigating.
Okay.
Not just like
The room.
the darkness.
Yeah. The darkness.
Because I don't have much more to just tell you about the darkness. But if you have a question, I'll answer it.
Okay. So I assume Vaika kind of like fills me in on the stuff she's observed so far.
Yeah, I point out to you all, like, went around the walls, couldn't find a specific exit. It looks like the floor has started overtaking, like, furniture and stuff in whatever this room used to be. Shot the heart, and it started repairing itself, all that fun stuff.
Okay. So you said it had, like, veins coming out of it, essentially? Or, I guess, arteries? And that they kind of, like, spiderweb through the rest of the, like, fleshy walls and stuff?
Yeah.
Can we tell, like, what is in those? Like, if we would be able to, like, take those as a pathway out? A very gross pathway out, but...
Okay, so I think the scale is an issue here. This heart is, like, pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Like, the size of a car. The veins in it...
Oh, I was picturing it, like a couple stories big.
I mean, even so, like, the arteries coming out of it are maybe as big around as a basketball.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like...
They are not like a hallway.
I wasn't picturing a hallway. I was picturing like a...
A crawl space?
Yeah. Or like a sewage pipe.
No.
An air duct.
I don't want to dunk on your plan, but I mean, 1, you would drown, and 2, ew, God, ew. And 3, also, they're too small.
Also, 4, maybe don't go into the sewage pipe of chaos. Like, that just, like, we're so worried about getting...
I should have let you guys pull a tauntaun on it.
Caitlin, I hope Vaika's not corrupted. Also, Caitlin, let's dive straight into the chaos liquid.
Well, okay, hang on though, but how did Jila and I get here? Was it through one of the veins, or is that something completely different?
It's like a monster that can move through the flesh.
Okay.
Also vaguely magical.
So, like, if we looked back at the wall where we were dunked out...
It's grown shut.
It's shut. Okay.
Yeah. If there's nothing else you guys want to do, we're going to kick back over to Sully and Malcolm. Sully and Malcolm, half your crew's missing.
Well, I told her not to run off, and what does she do? She goes and runs off, and then she goes missing.
I think the important thing now is we just keep trying to find them and hope they're okay.
I mean, I have no sense of where they are, which is a little bit alarming. So I guess we keep trying to find this epicenter of sorts for the chaos.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
Follow me.
Can we go back? Can we, like, try to find the epicenter again? The, like, dead end to it?
Yeah, I would say that's, like, relatively easy, especially for you to find.
Okay.
Sully.
Can I try to, like, cut through the wall?
Are you shooting through it, or are you cutting through it with your, particle sword thing?
I'd be cutting through it.
Roll blast some baddies.
And that adds tough?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's a 6.
Okay. So, you pull out your sword, and when you, like, activate the hilt in whatever way you usually would do that, you can feel, like... You feel the same way you would when you fire your dart gun, and instead of shooting a dart, it shoots, like, glowing light out of it, which has been happening to you when you encounter chaos. And you almost expect that to happen with your particle magnetism weapon, but it doesn't. It just kind of, like, lights up like it normally does, and you start hacking at the wall, and you're making more progress than, like, shooting at it would have, because, like, a lightsaber would do more than a gun. You know what I mean? Like, getting cut kind of does more, like, a larger amount of physical damage, but a less precise amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the difference between drilling a hole and hitting it with an axe. Like, you're doing more with the axe, even if it's less effective in the immediate area. And so you're, like, able to work a tiny little opening into a larger room. Like, eventually your arm sticks all the way through, and you're kind of able to, like, scrape the sword down and, like, kick an opening out. But, like, by the end of it, you're tired. You're, like, covered in goo as it's, like, still trying to, like, you're having to, like, cut the door open more as it's trying to close itself up. Are you going to try to squeeze through the opening?
Yes, I think, as long as Malcolm's behind me.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah, so, like, to get Malcolm through, you're having to, like, stand there with your sword, like, cutting up.
Yeah.
And then out, you know, like, as the thing is still closing. You're basically, like, digging a hole, but all the dirt's just raining right back down on top of you. But you do finally manage to squeeze your way into this room beyond.
Is it the room that everyone else is in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to see, like, a faint glowing light and two figures, like, silhouetted by a faint glowing light coming from the heart.
The whole time they're trying to struggle into this room, Jila and I are just looking at the heart, just completely ignoring what's happening behind us, just like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah, I guess eventually you'd hear, like, grunts and groans as they're, like, struggling to kick their way in, and, you know.
It's like, well, I could always place a bomb over there, see what happens.
As soon as they finally get in the room and get on their feet and notice the other two in the room, Mal's gonna run up to Vi and give her a hug.
Whoa!
I thought we'd lost you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Wow, we are all really gross.
So gross.
How did you guys even get down here?
I cut a hole through a wall.
Okay, I get that part, but, like, where is this room?
Middle of the ship, the middle anomaly you found, about there. And by about there, I mean exactly there.
Alright, so this is where we were going to all along. Vaika and I just took a shortcut of sorts.
Yeah, Sully.
Because you were being reckless and charging in to what presumably is the heart of darkness.
I don't know if it was rushing in. We kind of got grabbed.
With all due respect, Vaika, you were not rushing in. Jila was.
Alright, well...
They're just having a bit of an argument right now. Let's just leave them to it.
Well, we can distract you from this by showing you this heart here, which I personally cannot do anything about. I've tried shooting it a couple times. and it just repairs itself. So, Sully, I have a feeling this is going to require your harmony expertise, per se.
All right. I think I want to try something with all of your guys' permission. I'm going to try to bring you all with me as I go to this place, because I do not think I can fight this thing alone.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, all right.
Did you hear that, Cody?
I did.
And he's not happy about it.
No, not unhappy, just unsure.
I'm fine with it having to be a roll or something, or it being no.
I need to think for a second. Okay, so you know how I've said before that if you turn left, the story's always left?
The story no longer left.
Well, okay, so kind of. I will say this, as I have written in my notes for this encounter, which are only as true as they are, I wrote them, so it's not like there's canon here that we have to follow. I did not write this encounter with the intent of it's going to be Sully by himself doing everything and the rest of you are just going to be standing there holding pom-poms. Now, I can change that, but then it just changes things. Or I could not change it, and then there will be ramifications. I am trying to decide how to handle this, if that makes sense.
That does. Take your time.
Okay, so here's how this will work. You can try. It will be a roll, and I'm not going to remove what I had decided to do before, so that will still happen. And basically, the way this is going to work is, I think it's one of those things that, like, you can try to take as many people with you as you want. That's not going to be the trick. The trick is going to be if they can comprehend what is happening enough to go with you. Does that make sense?
Keep our sanity kind of thing.
Not necessarily keep your sanity, just are you able to actually do this thing? Like, you'll be able to feel a tug, but that doesn't mean... You know what I mean? You can watch someone ride a unicycle. That doesn't mean if I handed you a unicycle, you could ride. So Sully can kind of, like, give you a direction on how to do this, but that doesn't mean you can. It'll be a weird check.
Is it weird by all of them or weird by me?
It'll be weird by all of them. You can try to take them with you. That gives them the ability to roll and try to do this. And I'm going to say this is something where, like, you can't, like, help them. It's going to be mostly on them as individuals to try to figure out how to do this.
Right. My helping them is giving them the ability to roll.
It's just the ability to do the roll. Yeah. So it would be a weird check for all of you.
Let me tell you now, it's not likely that Malcolm's coming with you then.
Snake eyes.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Caitlin, you rolled Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't Zach have to roll first?
No. No.
Oh, okay. Wow, I actually got a 10.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I rolled almost perfect and then had my -1.
I got a 7.
Okay, so... Got it. So that 7 and 10 are going to mean something, which you may or may find out depending on what happens next, okay? Sully, you walk up to the heart and trying to, like, reach your mind out to it, and Jila, Vaika, and Malcolm, you all kind of feel a similar tug, almost like a feeling of falling asleep pulling at you, and Jila, it's just something that you naturally recoil from. It feels like a loss of control, or like it would mean slipping out of consciousness, which is like lowering your guard, which is maybe difficult to do in a tense situation. Mm-hmm. And you're just not able to get your mind in the right space. Vaika, you kind of feel similarly, but are kind of eventually able to like feel the presence of your friends near you and like calm down enough to get your mind in the right state to kind of go with Sully wherever he's going. And so 3 of you slip into the cognitive plane, and around you everything goes to a white void. Way off in the distance you see a dragon, and right in front of you you see just a mass of wriggling tentacles. The thing in front of you is huge and it's not like a solid thing, right? So it's kind of looks like a knot of all of these different like tendrils all coming together into one place and just twisting together into something. But there isn't like a solid, oh, there's a body and then all the it's just a knot of things all in one place. Meanwhile, Jila, you're just standing around while 3 of your friends hold hands and stare vacantly at a big big heart in the middle of an empty room.
The way I imagine this is Sully has learned to stand up during this, and he's holding like one hand of Malcolm, one hand of Vaika, who just collapse onto the ground.
Yeah, Jila's just like holding Vaika's hand, like,
Something's supposed to happen?
where'd everybody all right? All right? Vi? Cap? Sully? Alrighty. She starts whistling.
So I guess Jila did not make it through, but I think now we kill this thing?
Vi is, like, looking a little freaked out right now. Sully, is this what you see every time you do this?
Yeah, this is space and weird.
I mean, yes and no. It is...
Is that a dragon?
I think so. I haven't got any closer than this to it, really, so I'm hoping it's not.
I'm a little bothered by how normal you seem to be taking all this.
I mean, I have been doing this for months alone.
All right.
Also, I am low-key panicking, you know, it's not like I have the weight of the entire universe on my shoulders as I accepted a sword from my god or anything, and now am him or am not him, and my girlfriend may or may not be, you know, running off into the heart of these beasts without any care in the world, and hoping that we don't get tainted, but, you know, I think the tentacle monster is more of a problem right now.
Do you think anything we can do is actually going to stop this thing? Well, other than you've got your sword.
I mean, I'm hoping with you guys in this realm you can hurt it as well.
All right. I guess let's give it a try. Vi's gonna shoot at it.
All right, roll, hit with all you've got.
Is it plus weird now for them as well?
I sure hope not.
That's what you've been having him
That
roll
is,
with.
for consistency's sake, I made that plus weird roll kind of to benefit you. Like, we justified it backwards from, well, Sully should be good at this, therefore. But for them, they should actually not be good at doing this. This, like,
This is totally new.
Freddy Krueger Dream Warriors thing is not going to be comfortable for them.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
fine.
reference nobody got. Anyways.
Okay, so here's my question. So I just rolled a 7. When I'm using my wireless drill, I usually roll tough plus 1.
Yeah.
Do I still roll that, or
No,
would
you
it
roll
be,
plus weird.
It would just be
plus weird, yeah.
Okay, so that's just a 7 for me.
Is your weird 0?
Yes.
Okay, you take a shot at it, and it works. Like, you feel a solid hit, and maybe one of the tentacles snaps loose. But you hear a high-pitched shrieking, and then a tentacle slams into you, and then another tentacle slams into you, and then another tentacle slams into you. You take 3 damage and wake up on the floor in the room with the heart.
Ah!
Right as you do, Vaika and Jila, you both hear a loud, high-pitched shrieking noise coming from sort of everywhere, but also sort of the heart. The water immediately begins to boil, and those 10 Imposition soldiers that you shot, you can see them forming quickly around you again. And then from all around the room, you just see more things rising up out of the floor and beginning to assemble bodies as they stand up out of the ground.
Oh, shoot. All right, I guess
All right, Vi, time to rock and roll.
keep them from getting to Mal and Sully.
All right, Jila, what you doing?
Bombs, bombs, bombs.
Just gonna start hucking bombs?
Yep. That's an 11.
Oh, okay, so
I can do my splash zone tag, which does a +1 damage to minion targets that are adjacent to, like, my one target.
Okay, so these are minion targets, so it does a +1 damage. So in this, like, wall of enemies coming towards you, you, like, carefully aim, throw a bomb, and there's a flash, and, like, 3 of them are reduced down to goo as, like, just empty Imposition armor falls again. All right, now we're kind of in the rules here where it's just everyone goes until everyone is gone, and then we start over again. So 2 more of... So it's Sully and Malcolm left.
She's not dead, is she? As we just saw her disappear.
I assume not. However, I've never died on this plane, so let's kill this thing and find out.
All right, now we'll take a shot. That is a 7.
All right. You fire at it, and it's like a very similar experience. Like, you almost just like knew, like, oh shoot. As you like take a shot, it hits, there's a squeal, and immediately just tentacles wreck into you, like knocking you off your feet and slamming you to the ground, as you also take 3 damage.
I assume that's not reduced because this is like mental damage,
Yeah,
or is it?
I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
That feels like it shouldn't for what this is.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of how I was leaning as well. Do I stay in the metaphysical realm?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a swing at it with my sword.
Okie doke.
I got a 12.
Awesome. So, do you have tags for that sword?
We've never defined them, no.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want to avoid damage, or do you want to do extra damage?
I think Sully would be the person who would avoid damage.
Okay. So you kind of, at this point now, it's no longer just passively responding, it's actively attacking both of you as it's realized that you're a threat. So tentacles are whipping out at you, especially, Sully, and you're managing to sidestep and dodge around them and parry a few with your sword until one leaves an opening and you're able to slash a tentacle free. We're back around to the top.
Did I take any damage from those tentacles coming at me in the metaphysical realm?
Yeah, I marked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
okay.
3 damage, I think. It was a lot.
Ooh,
It
ooh.
was a lot.
I'm getting hurt.
Yeah, that the same as what I took. Did not feel very good.
Yikes. All right, well, I'm going to take a shot at anything that's coming toward us.
Okay, yeah, so you just have ranks of... What I would say at this point you're seeing is there are clearly those, like, imposition things that are forming, like, crabs, you know, growing into a shell. But then just beyond that, there are, like, these vaguely put together, somewhat humanoid things that look like there were bones under the floor, and they just got assembled out of whatever. You know what I mean? So it's not, like, totally accurate all the time, but vaguely bipedal and has arms beyond that.
All right. Ooh, okay.
What, did you fail a roll finally?
I did. I got a 6.
Oh, no! So, with
we have no camaraderie. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, with a 6, you're trying to fire and just keep them at bay, and what happens is they don't rush at you. Instead, they are rushing at Sully and Malcolm. So one of them gets close and manages to, like, punch at Sully, and it's, like, not really a stab, they don't have weapons or anything like that, it's just a hard punch to Sully's temple. Sully, in the middle of fighting, you stumble and, like, kind of fall to one knee and get back up as it feels like you took a blow to your head from nowhere.
Oh.
Did I take any damage from that?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
How much damage did Sully take?
1.
Just 1. Sully's going to see how this monster's, like, hitting hard, and he is being hit with other damage, not just from it. He's gonna go and attack it again.
Okay.
That will be a 10, and I
Okay.
think this time I'll go for damage instead of avoiding damage. I think he's being a little bit more, it needs to die now, kind of.
Yeah, now as you're, like, dancing around the tentacles, you're kind of being more risky. You're taking a few more hits and maybe not parrying as much, but you're kind of absorbing those and just trying to hack tentacles off as quickly as you can. At this point, it's made, like, a visible impact. This thing seems to have shrunk. You can see, like, cut tendril nubs kind of flailing and, like, leaking as its, like, squealing increases. You can almost, like, smell burning coming off of it, and you take 2 damage. I think we have either Jila or Malcolm.
Okay, Mal will try to take another shot at this thing.
Gotcha.
Not good, that's a 6.
Okay, so with a 6, you, like, take really careful aim. You're like, I'm gonna make every shot blindsided in the head. And you wake up on the floor with a bunch of half put together chaos zombies swarming around you, having taken 2 damage, by the way. Meanwhile, Jila is totally untouched. Fine.
Doing amazing.
As I prove once again, I cannot run balanced combat.
This is honestly probably better for me, because I cannot roll with weird. Rolling with weird is terrible. Everything's awful. So that roll, if I had been rolling my normal weapon, it would have been a 10, but instead it was a 6. Because there was a swing of 4 points between my cool and my weird.
Yep. All right. Jila, you're the only person left.
Yeah, she's talking more bombs. Seems to
All right.
work the first time.
Huck a bomb.
Alrighty, that is a 9.
Oh, a 9 is a partial success, right? Okay, so you're just doing damage?
Yep.
All right, so you just kind of take careful aim at a target, throw a bomb, and it explodes, blasting apart one more of these Imposition guys. But at this point, you can see that more are closing distance with, at this point, just Sully. And I will say at this point, I'm going to kind of amend my rules for how I was going to run this combat. You have a choice here of you can either like physically put your body in the way of attacks, or you can let Sully get hit in the head, basically.
She's gonna put herself between the things and Sully.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, she steps in between.
Yeah.
If they're enclosing on him.
I feel like that's a fair way to run this, otherwise this is going to ramp up hardcore on Sully pretty fast.
Every time they fail a roll.
Yeah, and Malcolm, too, is definitely, like, he knows that Sully staying alive is, like, the only way we're getting out of this.
Yup.
So he is also going to be, like, trying to keep things from getting to Sully.
I'm also fine if, like, every third hit has to get through or something, Cody. Like...
Well, no, I think that's going to be up to your teammates to decide. Like, you guys can see how much damage you have, and as long as you're not looking at the GM sheet, which don't, there's basically what it is here is there's a damage tracker on both of these events, so one of them's going to finish first.
So Sully is hacking off these tentacles, and he goes, "Keep it up, Captain Malcolm," and looks behind him and sees just no one. He's just like, all right, and then just goes into hack more.
Okay.
Ooh, not great. That is an 8.
All right. So you were expecting to like rally and be like, yes, me and my best friend, Captain Malcolm Lou. Oh, he's gone and I'm alone. And he just kind of like breaks your spirit a little bit as you half-heartedly cut one tentacle as another one hits you, dealing 2 more damage.
So here's the thing. These enemies are like already like in melee range of Sully, right?
Are you asking if you need to use your weapon or not?
Yeah, if I need to switch to melee form of it.
I like the idea of having to switch back and forth, so here's what I'm going to say. The first time one of them gets close enough that you have to like step in to defend Sully actively with your body, from then on you'll be in melee range. For now, they have not closed distance with you.
Okay.
They've closed distance with Jila a little bit, but not with you.
Okay. Then he is going to take a shot.
Okay.
They've closed distance with Vaika, though, right?
I think so, but you can continue using whatever, because your weapon's kind of like small, so I think it's fine to use at close range.
Okay.
That is a 9.
Oh shoot! So they close distance. Yeah, you shoot one of them in the head, but that is not enough to hold the rest of the horde at bay. Oh, so now you have that choice of you like keep in the way of Sully, or does Sully take a hit?
Nope, I keep in the way of Sully.
Okay, so yeah, one of that like. These things are just punching at you.
How much damage?
Oh, just one.
After negation?
Oh, you're wearing armor. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah.
I have the 1 armor.
Look at you. You're just a Tankenstein. I forgot about that. But now they have close distance with you and you're in melee range. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I like that. Jila and Vaika, one of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot.
Okie doke.
That is a 9.
So with a 9, okay, it's the same thing. So these things are in front of you. You're trying to kind of like keep them fought off, but you can't quite keep them at bay. So you're now making the choice of whether you're absorbing damage as they're trying to punch Sully, or whether you're letting Sully take the hits.
Oh, I'll take the hit.
Okie doke. All right, so at this point now, like, the horde is just like pressed in on you guys. Like, it is just a wall in front of you. Like, there's no more of these like formed Imposition soldiers left. It is just a mass of like mosh pit bodies pressing into you as you're trying to keep them off of Sully, who I think at this point is probably like on his knees at best after getting punched in the head once.
He's probably just got punched and is just like lying on the floor like dead.
Yeah, right? Like just hoping he is in fact still fighting this hard.
And not just out cold on the floor.
Are they in melee range now of Jila?
Yes. And I will say if you want to use bombs, you can, but it is risky if you fail badly.
She was going to switch to her particle magnetism weapon.
That's fine.
That's a 9.
Okay, so you're like trying to slash at this just mob of enemies, but again, it's just too much for one person to really handle competently, as it's just flailing limbs everywhere. Like, you can swing...
it's like you cut off one head and two more show up.
Yeah, and you take 1 damage from just flailing limbs slapping into you. At this point now, you have a slightly bloodied nose. Slightly, because again... Just so our audience is aware of what the sheet says, like, there's a possibility of taking 12 damage. Sully would have 4 hit points left, right? Out of a total possible 12 hit points, Sully has 4 left, Vaika has 6 left, Malcolm has 6 left, Jila has 10 left, because I suck at running this. Like, we have these broken up into categories, and Sully is on the edge of dying, and Jila is just
healthy as a space horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of how these combats go.
Yeah. Sully had a rough beginning. It happens. That's top of the combat. So what's everyone doing?
Sully just keeps at it. That'll be a 12. I think at this point he's going to try to parry a little bit again as he's getting clobbered.
Okay, so at this point now, you're being more reserved. Like, you're not closing distance as much with it. You're just kind of, like, keeping whipping tentacles at bay. And at this point now, you can feel something that you haven't felt before, which is not just, like, the physical exhaustion that you would expect to be feeling from this, but also a kind of mental exhaustion. As these... Oh, frick, my Google Drive just signed me out. You're feeling a kind of mental exhaustion from keeping yourself in a cognitive plane and also using your brain to then fight a giant monster that seems like utterly daunting and impossible to fight. And that voice that's been repeating in your head over and over and over again seems to be getting louder as you just hear over and over and over again, "It's your time, Sullivan. Harmony is in your every step and breath." Over and over and over again as you're, like, barely keeping this fight together at this point. Okay, the other 3 of you.
Taking a shot. That's what I've been doing this whole episode. There we go. 13.
Great, so at this point now, you're, like, actually managing to hold your side of this fight. Like, if Sully's basically slumped against the heart, the 3 of you are kind of in a rough half circle with him right behind you, and your, like, flank is actually not able to close distance as you've, like, gotten a breath and are keeping them at bay.
Can Jila swipe again?
Yup.
Oh, that's not good. That's a 5.
So, Jila, you're, like, realizing very quickly that you are not good at using a sword just yet.
Yep. All that practice I wasn't maybe paying quite enough attention to.
Don't you have an axe, too?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is an axe, technically. So your particle magnetism weapon maybe is just not as familiar in your hand as a bomb. Maybe at some point in your training in the military you practiced with melee weapons, but that had not ingrained itself fully in your mind. And under pressure, you can feel that lack of perfect muscle memory as you take 2 damage from these things just punching you in the face over and over and over again as you try to get your weapon in front of you.
Yeah, I think she's like panic swinging because they're not backing up and they're getting closer, and Sully doesn't look great.
Yeah, Sully, I guess, would probably be getting noticeably paler at this point.
Okay.
Probably bleeding from being cold cocked as well.
Yeah, that too.
Did Jila take 1 or 2?
2 damage. I marked it.
Mao's gonna try to slash at these things and keep them from getting to Sully again. That is an 8.
Okay, so it's kind of like, for you, it's just this press of people is still just overwhelming. The wall in front of you is almost unifying to no longer have distinct bodies. It's just wriggling appendages hitting at you as you're trying to chop through what seems like an infinite quantity of stuff rushing towards you. You'd manage to do 1 damage, but then also take 1 in return.
Which is actually 0.
As all of you are, like, struggling to keep up with this fight and keep this horde off of Sully, in the thick of it, you can't see the back of the crowd, but if the camera was to raise up and the perspective was to shift, you would see that the back is slowly thinning as this wall is breaking on the three of you holding it off of your friend. But in the moment, all you can see is just the next thing in front of you slowly lurching towards you. And we're back around at the top.
Sully starts swinging. Oh, that's okay. 7.
Alright, so with a 7, really there's just kind of still the battle is having its fatigue on you as another tentacle lends a strike, but you're able to cut it off in response, slowly whittling down how big this thing is.
Woo!
What happens when you get to the dying range?
Nothing in particular. You just really shouldn't, I would say narratively...
Okay, I didn't know if it was like ships where you get tags or something.
No, and I'm not going to give you negatives in a fight, but this would be once the adrenaline is worn off, you can't stand anymore. You know what I mean? It's not I'm limping. It's you're on the ground.
You remember when Sully and I returned from our last adventure on the Black Dreadnought? That was dying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hack and slash 7.
Guys, come on, we need better rolls now.
I have to use tough now that I'm using a particle magnetism weapon.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I have to use tough.
So you're starting to feel a little bit more competent as you're realizing that these things are not as lethal as they could be. Every time you manage to cut a chunk off of one and it falls apart, you realize that these are not the most immediately lethal things. So if you just think about them as training dummies, it's not that bad as punches still begin to rain in on you, but you're starting to feel bruised and sluggish.
Vi's taking a shot. 10!
Yay!
You're still able to hold your side pretty well.
You're not throwing away your shot.
Do you have tags that you want to specifically be applying when you're rolling a 10, by the way?
So I have accurate, which
Okay,
is
so that's just
plus
extra damage.
2 extra damage.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you're just managing to hold your side pretty competently here as they're not closing to melee range and instead staying at a distance from you as your half of the semicircle is not totally collapsing.
I think, too, she's managed to, because she's using her drill gun, she's managed to, go from them, one of them came up and hit Sully, but she's managed to push it back now so that she's back in, range attacks, and she's much better at that.
All right, Mal's gonna take another slash.
Get him, Mal.
That is another 8.
Okay, so you're kind of just managing to keep it at bay at this point. It just feels like chopping wood. You know what I mean? You're just swinging as quickly and as accurately as you can at what seems like a never-ending string of enemies, as you can feel fatigue building on you.
Is it just 1 damage?
Yeah.
Then it's 0.
Oh, frick, yeah, I keep forgetting.
My armor is too good.
Well, I just kind of have to remember that when making rules for encounters, but it's okay in this case.
Well, see, what needs to happen is I need to fail a roll completely, and then you can take that away.
Yeah, well, and also, given how dire this situation is, in this case, you kind of being at, a steady state is okay. It's not, killing the potential tension, so I'm fine with it.
Anyway, have we all gone?
Yes, we are back around to the top of the turn order.
All right, I'm gonna swipe at it again. Hey, a 10. So I feel like the way this looks for Sully now is he just keeps parrying badly, but it works. He's trying to parry, and you know how you parry with the flat of the blade?
Yeah.
With normal swords, but he keeps just parrying wrong, and so the tentacle swipes into the blade and just cuts itself off.
So are you doing extra damage, or are you reducing damage?
I'm reducing damage, but I think it's more just by luck he's not getting hit. It's not skill blocking, it's he's getting ungodly lucky.
Okay, I should not have marked damage on you then. Alright, what's everyone else about?
I think I'm going to try to slash again.
Okay.
10.
So finally you kind of feel the groove set in. You start...
My training comes back.
Yeah.
I can hear Sully's voice in my head.
Right, you remember the Mr. Miyagi moments as you're starting to actually create a little bit of breathing room around you in this press of enemies.
You are one with harmony, and harmony is you.
Or do you want to go crazy and just start cutting heads off? I guess that's also a viable option.
Versus...
not taking damage.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I can take some damage.
Okay, you do take damage. Yeah, you start feeling all those openings where you could be avoiding damage, and instead you're like, nah, I'm just going to use that opening to cut arms off.
Okay.
Guys, we're all looking pretty rough.
All right, Vaika's gonna take another shot. 8.
Okay, so you're able to kind of like kill them as they get just within melee range, but one of them does manage to get like a claw through, and you feel like a cut across your cheek as one of them manages to hit you in the face finally, as they start pressing harder in on your flank.
I will take a slash at the ones in front of me. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh no. It's a 3. I rolled snake eyes.
You rolled snake eyes?
I rolled snake eyes.
Oh man, so like this gets messy. Like your flank completely collapses as now like there are enemies actively pressing in on Jila's side and also crawling over you to try to get to Malcolm. You're literally like
Sully,
yeah, you're literally having to like struggle on the ground to pull half-forming zombies away from Sully and like stabbing at them as more are crawling on top of you on the ground.
And how much damage does he take?
Oh, you would take 2.
Okay.
You're looking very bad. It turns out you're looking terrible.
Which is just 1.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you're not looking that terrible, but you're looking pretty terrible.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad, but not as bad as it could have been. So
Sully is going to take a swing again in this metaphysical realm. Oh, nope, it's a 6.
Oh, no!
What?
6.
Boy, was there ever a time not to roll a 6?
No.
So you're like barely...
How do you even? You have a plus like 3.
I have a plus. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
You're barely keeping up with the fight, and then you just get, like, decked. Like, just uppercut by one of these tentacles that slams into your chin and knocks you off your feet. Your ears are ringing, and you can still hear that same mantra in your ears that you've been hearing over and over and over again. Harmony is in your every step and breath.
Apparently not. It wasn't in that one.
So it's kind of fun for me being able to, like, see where you guys are at. But also, I'm just, like, staring at where you guys are at, and I'm like, oh boy, this could go either way.
It's not good.
Am I taking 2 damage from that, or just 1?
Just 1. I'll explain the mechanics of this afterwards, just because I feel like there's some mechanics here that...
I'm guessing it's something like the more damage we've done, the less damage it does to us, because it's getting smaller type deal. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, Vinny figured it out.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's...
No, I mean, I gave descriptive cues to hint at that. Anyways,
yeah, you've made a point of saying that as he like makes progress on that, it's getting smaller, which is like, oh, then it won't hit as hard. And then now that you've said he only took 1 damage, it's like, oh yeah, then that's it.
Hey, I was just making sure because I did fail.
Vaika shooting.
I like the look on Cody's face when I explain exactly what the mechanic is. He's like, yeah, okay, you figured it out.
10.
So you're able to kind of like rally and focus up as these things were getting closer to you and sure up your side again and keep them from closing distance to the point where you'd have to switch to some kind of melee combat. And from behind you, you hear screaming as Malcolm's being trampled by zombies. Malcolm and Jila.
Mal is going to try to like reestablish his position, try to get out from underneath
like
all
get
this.
Up to your feet, yeah.
I don't even know if he can attack this turn. He's just trying to get his position back, which I think, is there a move for that?
No. This would just be, you're still, like, narratively, that's what you're doing. That's
okay.
The same move. This is just the fight roll that gets made.
That is much better. That is a 9. Only if it was 1 more.
Okay, so you're able to, like, get up to your feet, and at this point now you're kind of relying on your armor. Like, you know it'll turn a certain amount of blows, so you're just like, whatever, just take the hits, get up, and try to, like, push them off so they're not actively clawing at Sully and you're not able to get them off of him. At this point now, I would say that on Vaika's side, the crowd is thinned to the point of non-existence as she's been able to, like, basically hold the wave off the entire time, but it just kind of been
she's all... God.
Yeah, right? But then just all focused around to Jila and Malcolm's side. Jila, what you doing?
I'm gonna slash some more. Keep him away from my doctor love. Gosh dang it. That's a 5.
So, Malcolm finally manages to claw his way to his feet, but unfortunately his side of the fight totally collapsing for a minute means that one of them like grabbed you by your ankles and tripped you up as you stumble to the ground and just get mobbed, taking 2 damage.
I was hoping that Malcolm just got hit back down again. Like, Jila lets one by. Malcolm's like, I'm up! Wham! Oh!
Alright, top of the turn order.
I hope there isn't much left to this arc after this, Cody.
Don't worry, there's stuff that's gonna happen. It's okay.
Alright, I'm attacking. A 9.
Hey, look at you.
It almost was a 12, but, dice.
So, with a 9, you're still taking hits. You're not totally turning away every attack. But you are able to do a little bit more damage to this creature, as you can now count the number of limbs that are left.
It sure would be nice if I had some friends in here.
It would be. It was a good idea to bring him with you at the beginning, though. I mean, that panned out for you pretty well.
Well, not with Vaika so much.
I mean, she did a significant amount of damage before she left. Yeah, she did.
No, did she?
Yeah.
No, she got hit.
She got hit, but she did a successful attack. Yeah, she rolled a 7.
No, she rolled a 6, I thought.
Nope, 7. She did damage.
Oh, okay.
No, between the two of them, like, between Malcolm and Jila together, or Malcolm and Vaika together, they did, like, a not insubstantial amount, especially considering this thing does more damage at full health. And they knocked it down together 1 tier.
Thanks, guys.
I've taken a shot at, I guess, not her side of...
Yeah, at this point, you're just trying to blast things off of Jila, who's been totally swamped.
Yeah.
Help.
It's a 7.
Okay, so you're like... Jila's not totally uncovered at this point. It's not like she's back up on her feet and good, but you are able to, like, knock off the one that was about to bite her face.
Cool.
Mal is gonna keep slashing. Yay, finally, that's a 10. rolling with tough is not the best for me.
Right? So you see a friend, like, get down, you're like, shoot, I gotta start, like, pulling my weight in this. So you do an extra damage, or are you avoiding damage?
I think he's going to do extra damage because he's relying on his shield.
Oh yeah, you avoid damage anyways. You feel like one press more, like you can feel like a mob of these things rushing at you. You take several hits on your jacket that you know it will turn, and kind of use that as openings to slash down more and more of these, like, malignantly formed creatures that are just at this point kind of like forming out of the ground and then throwing themselves at you. And one grabs onto you, you like pull forward, slash with your gun sword, and then you like turn to swing again and just swing over open air. You're standing on stone floor and there is nothing around you other than like Sully on the floor.
Nothing?
Nothing. Like, as in there are no more enemies to fight. Meanwhile, Sully is still on the ground.
Am I still fighting?
Well, technically Jila has a turn. I don't know if Jila wants to do anything right now. It's kind of up to Jila.
Throw a bomb at the physical realm. If it hurts me, it might hurt it.
What?
At the heart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we heard it screaming. I heard it screaming when stuff was happening in the cognitive realm, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean,
okay.
Sully did get punched in the face.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna attack the heart.
Okay, throw a bomb.
9.
Okay. I'm trying to, there's not really a solid way to have a downside happen here.
I slip on Chaos Goo.
Maybe she just doesn't do...
Sorry, game, sometimes the rules don't work for the mechanics.
Maybe she just doesn't do as much to damage, like it...
Well, this would do 1 damage and have a negative thing, so we're just gonna do the 1 damage, and I'm gonna let it slide this time.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of know a justification here. Anyways, you throw a bomb, and it explodes near the heart, and what Vaika saw happen when she shot at it was she could almost see the floor growing back into it. And what I said when Malcolm finally finished fighting was you guys were standing on stone floor. At this point, you see the basin visibly drain, and the heart is having a hard time putting itself back together.
Okay.
Sully, in the cognitive realm, you hear like a shriek and a like. So you hear a shriek and you see like a spasm in the in like the few remaining tentacles that are left, and 2 of them just kind of fall to the ground.
Nice. He's taking a swing. 8.
All right. Are you avoiding damage or doing extra damage?
Do I get to pick with that?
I don't think he doesn't have that choice.
Oh, you don't get to pick. Yeah, you're right. So you hear that shriek, and it immediately, like, lunges at you, all the tentacles all at once, way faster than you were expecting. You manage to cut all of them loose as they all smash into you. You immediately wake up, you're on the floor, and then you pass out. The rest of you, you just see the heart, like, begin pulsing faster and faster and faster, and then to the point where it literally starts tearing as it's, like, contracting and pulsating, and starts, like, smoking and disintegrating in front of you as, like, with spasmic motions, it rips itself to pieces.
Oh, I think we did it. Sully?
Sully? Sully!
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for the show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and the public domain. If you liked this show, you can check out more of our actual plays at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or Podbean, as well as interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Plays on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at wandering_gamer_network. Now remember, it's not the outlaw that makes trouble. It's trouble that makes the outlaw.